Ah, Microsoft, some things never change. So you might remember the other day we had a raft of announcements for Windows 10. And one of the interesting things is the developers announced that Windows 10 will be free, even if you're a pirate. Now that basically means that, from what we can tell anyway, if you happen to have an illegal copy of Windows 7, Windows 8, 8.1, you'll be able to upgrade to Windows 10. Now this obviously raised lots of eyebrows, but what then happened was a little bit stranger, because Microsoft's PR department didn't seem to have been, well, given the memo that Windows 10 was going to be free even for pirates. And what we have is a slightly strange kind of non-denial denial that, for all intents and purposes, if you are a pirate and you're running a pirated copy of Windows 7 or 8, and you upgrade to Windows 10, you will not be getting a licensed copy of Windows 10. Your copy will still be unlicensed. Now, what we don't understand really at this point is what that actually means. A little bit more information has come out that there is going to be an upgrade path for those individuals who are on Windows 10 but are considered unlicensed. Presumably, that will involve a small purchase through the Windows Store to license your copy. Now, at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to see Windows 10 sold for much more than a nominal $20, because Microsoft can't sell an operating system anymore. Nobody can. You know, the money is not in the software, it's in the hardware. But it's a bit of an interesting one, because what I think we'll actually see from Windows 10 on these unlicensed systems is something very similar to what we had under Windows 7 and Windows 8, essentially a nag screen. So what this will do is, when you first load up Windows 10, you'll get something that will say, this copy of Windows is unlicensed. Would you like to license this copy now? Click Open Store, Purchase, Licensed Up. Essentially, it's going to be one of those things where if you weren't annoyed by the nag screens previously, you're probably not going to be annoyed by the nag screens they come up with this time, because let's face it, if your barrier is a nag screen and maybe having to sit there for 10 or 15 seconds every couple of hours, for the majority of pirates that will be considered fine. There's also the option there that, frankly, as we know, as soon as Microsoft put in anything that attempts to alert people to a pirated copy of Windows or anything like that, most likely some hackers are going to find a way to remove that from the distributions they put out on the various torrent networks. So Microsoft, on the one hand, is going to catch quite a lot of low-hanging fruit with this particular endeavour. You know, your mom and pop doesn't really understand what Windows is, or that it even needed to be licensed in the first place. But I think anyone who's truly determined not to pay for Windows 10, and more importantly not to be nagged, will probably end up finding a way around it long term. But even so, it's interesting that Microsoft is trying to really unify this architecture. They want people off Windows 7 and before, certainly they want people off Windows 8, and they want them onto Windows 10. It's kind of a Trojan horse scenario here. From Microsoft's point of view, it is better to have people hooked in on the features of Windows 10 and hopefully sell them a Windows 10 smartphone or a Windows tablet, or even potentially a new Windows laptop, hopefully running Windows 10.